Good afternoon, everyone. This is Christian with PerfectStockAlert.com, a 100% free service for smart investors and traders. All we ask in return, please refer a friend. Today is Wednesday. It is March the 7th, 2012, and we have a lot of charts to look at today. I'm not going to cover them all, but I have issued or updated every single day. I update all these charts on our free website at PerfectStockAlert.com, and there are several buy signals out there. You can check them out there. I will cover a few here, and some of them I can't cover on right now because they've not updated the charts here at StockCharts.com for the global index markets that I would typically track. For example, the Australia market here, you can see this is the candlestick that I'm showing right now for this chart right here, and that's not actually the candlestick formation for the day, so I'd like to wait and see what that actually is. I'd be looking for a buy opportunity in this situation, not at the moment. Of course, I can't see the candlestick for the day, so I don't know exactly what I'm looking at here, but I do like the fact that she's pulled back considerably. I'd like to consider an opportunity on the long side. If it sets up just right, she's pulling back down here to where previous breakout occurred. That breakout is going to be a support line, not a resistance line. So any situation that I get a buy opportunity at this level would definitely make sense to me. I'll be looking for that. Let's move on. Before we move on, after this chart gets updated, it will be already after this video is up there. So if you're wondering what I think after it gets updated, I will update the chart if it need be on the free website at PerfectStockAlert.com. You can check it out there. And like I said, there's several charts that I can't look at right now because of this issue. One of the charts that we will be looking at today will be gold. I don't have a buy signal on this one right now. I did actually just issue an alert on an individual company within the gold industry, but I'm not actually doing one on this one for a couple of reasons. One, no hammer candlestick formation. Two, I don't have I won't make a buy signal if I don't have a series of candlesticks where I've got two candlesticks, one with a lower low than the previous. You know, so I want low points here and here have to be higher, which in this case they are, and the high points here and here have to be showing an uptrend, and in this case they're not, so I couldn't issue an alert here if I wanted to. Also here you'll notice this is one of the telltale signs that this guy is actually overselling here. You got this move to the downside here. Note the closes here are trending lower, yet the ultimate oscillator is showing that downtrend is or the momentum to the downside is decreasing, so you're starting to trend up. That means that this move to the downside, this further move to the downside here, is actually unsustainable, and that will end it as a situation where you actually reverse back to the upside. I would have liked to have seen a hammer here. I would have been able to at least set a note there and say, okay, if we get a higher high the next day, I would be a buyer, but I don't have that option here, so I'm not going to be doing that. Also, you'll notice that we're finding this support at a key level. You were noticing back here you had previous resistance about that point, and you get a breakout. This is about where you're starting to find support at. You've also got support being provided by the 200-day and the 50-day moving average, this green line right here and this red line right here that you're slightly below. These things are also adding to this support. So it's a confluence of support right there. That's why we're hesitant right there to go any lower. The India Bombay Stock Exchange, this is another chart that I would like to be able to see what's, you know, the candlestick for the day looks like, but I can't see it yet. It's not been updated yet. But this one again shows the same situation I just showed you on gold, where you're trending lower in price based on the closes, and yet your ultimate oscillator, your momentum indicator, is actually trending up still, ever so slightly. You may actually sell off more, and then we resolve that, but for now it's still trending up. So this is something I want to look at as saying there could possibly get in a reversal signal that's showing up here. We have a resistance you can no longer see anymore back here, resistance point. Once we broke out of that point there, this resistance line begins to act as support. So we're pulling back to the point where you expect to start seeing that support, and we should start to see a bottom. This is why you're also seeing this signal here. This is what's known as an inverted hammer. Basically, a shooting star is this same candlestick formation, but it's at the top of, after you've had a run up, then you get one of those. In this case, we're having a sell off, then we get one. So this is a call for stock, the price to actually reverse in the other direction. While if it was up here at the top, it'd be telling you to look for a move to the downside. So it's just something to note there as well. Again, 200-day and 50-day moving averages at about the same level, and you've also got support provided by the lower Bollinger Band line here as well. So all these things are providing temporary, if not a longer term support. So it's something that we need to pay attention to. We have tested this major trend line right here, this resistance here. One broke through, she breaks through here, she pulls back, tests it, bounce off of it. Now we come back to here to test it again. Not quite as close to it just yet. I gotta wait to see what the actual candlestick formation is, but it looks like we may be getting a buy signal here. We need to wait for it. Japan iShares, this one's been on a tear to the upside for a while. Back here we had this breakout. Let's see what was about here. Had a nice breakout test of that resistance, now becoming support, and took off from that point. We thought we were seeing an opportunity here to roll over and go short, but before we could ever get short, she gapped up above our stop loss limit that would have been here, so we never got to enter the short. She advances here, now she's pulled back, giving us an opportunity at about the same level to go long. So I'm liking this. In this situation, we do have a hammer candlestick. We do have a higher series of highs from this candlestick to this candlestick, as well as a higher series of lows. I have no reason not to be a buyer here. So I would be a buyer with a stop set at this low point at 975. Stop would be 1 cent below that at 974. Also, you see this blue arrow I've drawn last night on the chart? I'm not arrow, this blue circle here. This is just drawing your attention to the confluence or the congestion there of all these potential support lines here, the 200-day, the 50-day moving average, all of that right there combined together is going to. It's no surprise that you see this hammer candlestick formation form yesterday, because you've got all of this going to provide a floor below it. So that's something I definitely want to keep in mind, and I'd be a buyer there looking for a test of the previous high. One last item to note regarding this particular chart. Whenever you get a move to the upside like that, check your volume, see what kind of volume you've got. You don't have to have strong volume, but it is nice to see that. It's that much more confidence behind the move. And we have a bullish buy volume here covering greater than the selling that we've had, moving this thing lower. So that's something I like to see. It actually adds that much more confidence to the buy. The NASDAQ has been one of those charts that we've liked to get into. It didn't really get a nice pullback to get into it until now. Now I believe we have an opportunity here to be a buyer. I'd set a stop right off the previous candlesticks. Let me show you. We got the tools here. Here's the low point I'm looking at off of this candlestick here. I would be setting a stop right off of that and be looking to be a buyer here at this price or lower if at all possible. You could get a test of the low by the markets tomorrow. Keep an eye on that potential. As long as she doesn't make a new low, taking out your stops, then she's still good. I'd still be a buyer of that. Any pullback there, actually, I'd prefer that. But I'd be looking for this as being a buy opportunity. Now, this also may just be a fake. A fake setup in the markets is actually going to end up going much lower. Like I said back on Monday, I think the market's going to do a particular thing. If you watched our videos on Monday, you know about that. If you didn't, then you don't really understand what I'm talking about. Go watch a video on Monday, and then you'll help yourself. Help me help you. Help me help what? Okay, yeah. Buy here, sell there. It makes sense to me. Or at least advance the stop. If you think she's going to go higher, that'd be fine too. The oil index, this is the chart that we talked about a while back that I just never took an opportunity to go long. Some of the times that she set up, I just missed the opportunity. Other times I was too busy trading other things, didn't really pay much attention to it. Right now I'm paying attention to it. I like the pullback, I like the buy opportunity. I would take it here. You have a series of higher highs and higher lows between this candlestick and this one, here and here. So this is a buy signal to me. That's what I'm looking for here. That would make sense to me. I know she has broke this major uptrend line, but if you watch, again, if you've watched the video from Monday, you understand what I think the market's going to do and therefore why I'm a buyer here. Looking at the PowerShares US dollar bullish index fund, I marked this one last night on the free website at perfectstockalert.com as being overbought. The next day she sells off a little bit, but I didn't start shorting it and yesterday or today, and so I've marked it now as today is okay. Now I would start doing that with a stop set off of this high here at 22.30, so my stop would be 22.31, 1 cent above that high. That's where I put that stop at. The reason why I'm doing this, again, if you've watched that video from Monday, you understand this. I'm doing that because I believe the markets are actually just moving sideways. I see the move that was coming, the sell-off. I saw that coming, but I don't think the sell-off is a big sell-off that's coming. I think it was just a small one that's actually going to end up just moving sideways. Well, if that's true, then this will also just move sideways within this range. Okay, it's just going to keep doing this little number here. Therefore, I'd short this guy here, expecting him to just stay within this range. I'd also could do the same thing with the VIX, which I'll show you in a moment. And I'm also going to look at the markets when this little sell-off as being an opportunity to be a buyer on the dip, and she's going to jump back up into that channel. You'll see. Looking at Canada's market TSX, whenever you see a chart on the website at perfectstockalert.com that's updated like this and shows a black arrow, that's a conditional signal. Basically, this situation here is blue. It's saying I would buy the next day with a stop at X, and then we advance that stop as we go, and that's what we did here. In this case here, I've got the stop drawn here, but it's a black arrow, and it's telling you that I wouldn't buy unless, and that's basically what conditional means. So I look at the high point of this candlestick, and unless that gets taken out, if the next day we take out that high and we make 1 penny higher, I would be a buyer. Okay, that's my logic there. So as soon as we make 1 penny higher, I'd be a buyer, and I'd set my stop right there. I'd be looking for a test of the previous high. Here we are looking at the volatility index, or the VIX runs the inverse of the S&P 500. You'll notice the same overall pattern here that I was showing you on the US dollar bullish index fund there. And I'm trading it the exact same way. If I'm right, and if the markets are just going to be moving sideways, they're not going to take out this high point here. This is the basic channel here that we're basically within, and we're just going to be moving sideways within this channel if I'm right. So that's what I'm looking at. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong, and we'll go lower, but that would still be a buyer at the bottom of that one. But this is my first opportunity to take a shot out there at what, actually put some money behind what I'm saying and see if I'm right. But I'm going to use the stop loss limit because I could be wrong. For those of you who have not been to our free website at perfectstockalert.com, it's right there. It's 100% free. All we ask in return, please refer a friend. For those of you guys that would be looking for those charts I'm talking about, they're updated every single night on our website. You can go right here on the market analysis, click there to watch the video, click there to watch the video, or go over here and click on chart notes, and there you will find a breakdown of all the different companies, or not companies, but indexes that we're tracking there. There's 16, including the VIX, and there's lots of them in there, and you just click on them to pull up the chart, including all of my notes for every single average and updated every single day. Okay, God bless, take care, enjoy the evening, see you all tomorrow. Please take a moment to review our disclaimer. The information provided herein is our opinion only. Under no circumstances do any statements here represent a recommendation to buy or sell securities or make any kind of an investment. You are responsible for your own due diligence. To summarize, we do not provide investment advice, nor do we make any claims or promises that any information here will lead to a profit, loss, or any other result. These videos are for educational purposes only.